Hi everyone, it's Melissa from the Dovertown Library here with another craft video for you. Today we're going to be talking about Zen doodling or Zen drawing, and this is a craft that's kind of more geared towards older kids and adults. However, you can modify it a little bit if you'd like to try it with younger children. So let's start with your materials. You're only going to need two things today, and those things are a piece of paper. I have a couple different sizes here. You can use whatever size you'd like. You can also use a notebook if you want to start doing this regularly and you want to keep your doodles all in one place. And the other thing you're going to need is a writing utensil. I personally prefer using, for my Zen doodles, an ultra fine tipped Sharpie marker, but you can also use something like a regular felt tip pen, a gel pen. You can even use a pencil if you'd like. The only thing you need to know about that is pencils do smudge when you're doing this, and that can get a little frustrating for some people. Let's also talk just quickly about what Zen doodling is. You might have heard of it before, you might not have. There are many different types of Zen doodling, and there is no straight, clear-cut way to do it. Zen doodling is kind of a way to create a drawing using patterns and geometric shapes. There's no recipe for you need to use this pattern at this time, you need to put this shape here. It's really just kind of a free flow art that you use to kind of calm yourself, relax, and de-stress. Before we get started, I do want to mention that this is my method that I enjoy using to do Zen doodles. There are so many methods out there that you can use. Even just a quick Google search looking for other tutorials and videos, if you're interested, are great. They give you all kinds of different ideas how to start, how to make different patterns. They're really worth a watch if you're interested. And with that in mind, this is how I personally enjoy doing it. I like the method of creating a shape. I've made a rectangle on my page here that I'm going to be filling in. The other really popular thing to do is to start at a point on your page, usually it's the center, and work your way outwards towards the edges. Like I said, this is just my personal preference. The other thing to note is if you're using something like a Sharpie or a permanent marker that could bleed through the page like mine kind of does, you're going to want to put another piece of paper under the page you're working on, just so that you don't ruin the table you're using, or in my case, my really nice tablecloth. So just keep that in mind as you're starting out. Alright, so now that I've already drawn my rectangle, I'm going to take my Sharpie, and this is one of the things you can modify if you do want to try it with younger kids. They don't have to use a permanent marker. If you want to give them like a washable marker or a pen or something like that that they want to try with, go for it. It's whatever you're comfortable with. But I am going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to make lines around my page to make these almost pockets that I'm going to be putting geometric patterns in. So it's going to look something like this. I really just pick a point, get my marker started, and kind of just go with it. So here's one pocket with one line. Here's another pocket. I think I like this one to be divided in two. So it's really just breaking up the shape so that you can make different patterns in different spaces. And once I've done that, I'm going to want to start somewhere and pick a pattern. There are lots of different patterns you can use. Like I said, you're going to want to stick with something that's easy to repeat. So, I might start with doing a few circles. And once you get like a basic shape in, you're going to want to think about how you want to modify it to make it build on itself. So for example, if I wanted to take this circle pattern and, add in one more, and maybe make them have triangles on the edges, so they kind of look like mini suns or flowers. You can do that. And so that I'm going to do with each circle I've already made. And the idea is to build your patterns outward so that they fill up the space. And as you make them more and more detailed, it's going to really make the pattern kind of come together. So here I am making triangles, and they really don't have to be perfect. Anything you do is fine. The really cool thing about doing it this way is when you are making the pattern originally, you can kind of see, like, my stars don't have all the same number of points. But that's okay, because as I move forward, as the pattern evolves, you're going to start missing those kind of mistakes or missing those differences. So now that I have my triangles on there, I think I want to fill in the empty spaces around them with a different shape. And I think what I'm going to do is just use smaller circles. So you can see I'm making this all up on the fly, which is one of the great things about doing this kind of art, is it's really just make it up as you go, whatever is on your mind at the time, and you just focus on making that pattern kind of expand, and that's kind of the way that you clear your mind and relax. So I think I'm going to leave this for now and move on to my other pocket. I did circles, so I guess let's do kind of squares. I'm going to start from one corner and just start making right angles and kind of make 3, maybe make another one with 3 right above it so that they kind of mix together, and maybe make one last one. And you can see, like, I started out with working from the middle outwards. You can also start from the outwards in, whatever works for you in your pattern. So let me fill out a few more. And it really is very easy to kind of just like lose yourself in how you're doing this. Maybe you want to make something that is just very easy to repeat, that just kind of gets you in the mood of doodling, which is totally fine. Alright, so this pocket is pretty much almost done. The idea is to fill it outwards so that it takes up the whole space with your pattern. And whatever that takes. So for mine, as I get to the end, usually with mine, I kind of just make it up as I go. So it's not by any means perfect, just fine. But so then that's the square part. The nice thing you can do with this too is you can add patterns within your patterns. So with my squares, I think I'm going to color in some of them with my marker. The other thing you can do that's kind of fun is you can leave it with just the outlines, and you can then color it in with colored pencils or markers or whatever. And that's another great modification for younger kids as well. If you just make the outlines for them and then give it to them and they can color it in with whatever they want, it is still making patterns. It's just making patterns without a permanent marker. So that's something you definitely can do. I think what I'm going to do is just color in some of these totally black, these squares. And this might take me a little while, so I will come back when I have those all filled out. Okay, so I'm back and I have finished coloring in the black and the white spaces. This is what it looks like, and so you can see it just gives it a little something extra. And I didn't really follow any particular pattern other than I colored every other space. So some squares are filled in, some squares are blank in the middle. It's really up to you what you'd prefer to do. If you want a more consistent pattern, go for it. I personally don't usually do consistent patterns. I think it makes it look a little more interesting. So I have 2 pockets left to fill in, and I think what I'm going to do is triangles for one and maybe stripes for the other. It's really just to kind of make up as you go kind of thing, like I said. So let me fill out those and I'll show you one more time what it looks like. Alright, so this is my finished Zen doodle for today. I did end up putting triangles up top in this pocket, and when I was done with the triangles, I wanted it to be a little bit more full, so I ended up just putting polka dots in between all the triangles. And then for the bottom piece, I decided to do kind of zigzag lines. And then I decided I wanted to put a pattern within that pattern, so I did the stripes. And the fun thing about it was, about halfway through the stripes, I was thinking, well, if I don't really like this, I can always just completely color it in black, and that'll fix it for me. So that is something to keep in mind. You can always modify if you don't like the way something turns out. I do have a couple examples of other things you could do. This first one is more of a mandala feel. I've started in the middle and I'm working my way out in circles. This is something that I'm just working on piecemeal. Every day I do a couple more minutes. So that's definitely something you can do. And then the other one is one that I made and then colored in with colored pencils, and it really just shows it is like a make your own coloring book. You can put whatever colors you want in whatever patterns you want. If this is something that interests you, it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. So that's also another thing you can do with these. The last recommendation I have for you is if you like listening to music, please try doing that while you're making these Zen doodles. It does not have to be meditative music. If you don't want to listen to that, that's fine. I personally put my iTunes on shuffle, and it's just music that I enjoy and that relaxes me. So if that interests you, please give it a try. That's all I have for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope if you do try it and it interests you, it's something that does relax you and kind of de-stress you in these extremely stressful times. So again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye!